All right, folks, welcome back to another day. We're at day number 13. Wherever you are in the world, hope you're enjoying your day, or your day might be off to a good start. So let's jump right into it. Hope you're enjoying the background music with Rabbi Shlomo Katz. When I was the rabbi of a synagogue, I used to attend a lot of functions, sometimes weddings, bar mitzvahs, and funerals, of course. And I remember at the end of one funeral, everyone left the cemetery, and I was just walking around a little bit. And I actually like to read headstones. I feel like, it gives honor to the people. You're already there, might as well. You get a sense of sometimes who people are. And once after a funeral, when I was looking at the headstones, there was one that really caught my attention. All it said on it, besides the person's name, and remember that many headstones have very flowery language describing how amazing the person was and this and that. And all it said is one simple line on this person's grave. All it said was that he was a seeker of God. What does this mean to be a seeker of God? So in the book of Amos, the prophet Amos, he uses this expression. He says, as speaking in the name of God, God says, "Seek me and live." The idea that Amos is saying here, "Seek me and live," sounds simple, but it's not simple at all. Amos is really defining for us what it means to truly live. In other words, let's look at the opposite. If a person spends their life just seeking material success, seeking comfort, seeking wealth, and so on and so forth, notoriety, fame, they're not really living. They're living in the physical sense, true, but they're not really living. Seek me and live, says Amos. What does he mean by that? So when a person spends their days really in pursuit of having a relationship with God, that's how Amos defines living in this world, by seeking out God always, being a seeker. Now, notice his words. He's very careful with his words. Amos does not say, "You seek me and you shall find me," and this and that, but rather just seek me. The one needs to be always looking. Now, this is sort of the paradox. It's like, think of the number 0 and the number 1. There's an infinite number. There are infinite amount of numbers between 0 and 1. That one pursues God and tries to get close. We're always getting closer to 1, but you can never really arrive there. So you never find. You're always seeking, and by the way, that's the beauty of it. It's kind of like, think of the guy who's climbing a mountain, and a helicopter comes by and says, "Hey, I'll give you a lift to the top." The point is not to make it to the top. The point is to always be climbing and be seeking. And this is what animates our lives, is being in constant motion and looking. So now, how does a person seek God? So it's very simple. Just think of an analogy. Think about how one seeks comfort in life. How do you seek success? How do you seek money? And that's how you seek God. The same energy and effort you put into all the physical comforts and pleasures of your life. So I challenge you, try to put in that same amount of energy in finding God. And it's not so simple always. But if we put in that energy, the same energy we put into all those other things in our lives, you'd be surprised what you'll find in your pursuit of God. And in our pursuit of God, how do we do it? What kinds of things do we need to do? We need to study. We need to study the Torah, study the Bible on a regular basis. We need to pray. We need to turn in prayer and even ask God to open up the gates for us so we can have a relationship with Him. And the amazing thing about seeking is that when you seek pleasure, you're always asking yourself, how can you raise your standard of living? How can I elevate my standard of living? But when you seek God, you're asking yourself a different question. How do I elevate my soul? Not how do I elevate my standard of living, but how do I elevate my soul? Now, we don't seek out God because God is lost. We look for God because we are lost. And it is in the seeking that we find ourselves and our place in the universe. Well, that's today's message, folks. As always, I am wishing you the deepest blessings from the land of Israel. Hoping you have a great day, a great week, and as we inch closer and closer to the Rosh Hashanah, to the Jewish New Year, just a little over 2 weeks away, I say goodbye with the music of Rabbi Shlomo Katz.